We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin. And today, faithful acolytes, we take a look at this.
And what this is Inner Beauty hot sauce, which comes in a flask. Very, very attractive glass flask. It's called a classic Caribbean style hot sauce made the freshest ingredients. Trust the taste. Product of Todd's Salsa from Bangor, Maine. And so in the written review, I said pretty specifically that this, to me, is not really a hot sauce. It is much more of just a mustard. But it is more of a mustard, actually, than the Bad Brains Fire Babylon Burn, which I also mentioned. But, all right, so our ingredient panels, starting with mustard. And I don't know which mustard that starts with. It looks like a Dijon to me. So we've got distilled vinegar, water, mustard seed, salt, chardonnay, citric acid, tartaric acid, spices, and turmeric. And from there we add more distilled vinegar, scotch bonnet peppers, papaya juice, pineapple juice, sugar, orange juice, mango, vegetable oil, honey, molasses, spices. As you can see, it does stick extremely well to things. It looks like nothing so much as to me definitely a mustard. So let's take a little look here. All right, pours nicely, and like I think you're talking like a spicy brown mustard here almost. Definitely has some of that look. It's not quite as washed out gray as Dijons tend to be. However, of course, there is a lot of other colors in it. You know, there's orange juice in it. There is, of course, there are wonderful Scotch bonnets. This is a really, I think it's an interesting color. It definitely does look like mustard. There's no getting around that. I can smell it here. I'm smelling a lot of really Dijon-y stuff, and a little bit of sweetness with it as well. You can see it flows fairly slowly. Not a lot of chunks. It's overall pretty smooth. You get a lot of straight up mustard flavor from that. Probably that more. There's a nice Scotch bonnet backburn though that comes out actually fairly quickly. Just enough to let you know it's there. You definitely have very, very, I almost think it could be just a touch sweeter, and that's probably why they're trying to go more for a hot sauce than an actual mustard, I guess, probably. And I love this sauce. The flavor is great. I like mustard. If you like mustard, you'll absolutely like this sauce. I feel like if you like Scotch bonnets, you'll absolutely like this sauce too. And you can sweeten it up a little bit. I mentioned in the review, I did toss just a little bit of raw honey in there, and that was chef's kiss, right? For the chicken strips that I had it with when I was doing testing. So, one of the big things that I really enjoyed with this was making sandwiches, because I very rarely get to use hot sauce on my sandwiches. And I'm going to show you a sandwich that I made the other day that was just spectacular. Actually, I was full and I had to stop eating it because it tasted so good. So I'm going to try to just restrain myself and make one for this video, but I might wind up with more than that. Alright, so let's look at what we start with. Okay, so we start with some nice bread. I personally like this. This is La Brea French loaf. And it's got cheese on the top of it. So what we're going to do is we'll go through the rest of these here in just a second, but starting with a really good bread is really kind of the way to make sure your sandwich is going to be good. So take a look, pretty evenly sliced here. Let's throw this in the toaster. And my toaster doesn't always fit 2 slices, but okay, so while that's toasting, we're going to go through the rest of the ingredients. So we've got Best Foods mayo. I like to use a real mayonnaise. I like this for an accent though. I don't use a lot of it. I'll show you that here momentarily. But I don't like to use Miracle Whip for this, of course. Our mustard hot sauce. And so I'll use a little medium cheddar, and I'm going to use this honey ham. So what we're going to do next is we're going to get some of this ham. And this one I like because it comes rolled up. So let's take a couple of those. We want to be a little careful here with our timing. So what we really want to do is we want to time it, hopefully, so that our toast is coming out about the same time that the microwave is done here. So what I'll do, just throw, this one is Cache Valley cheddar, so you could use any quality medium cheddar or whatever cheese you prefer. I just happen to have this one, and we're going to throw it in the microwave for 1 minute. Okay, so we got the toast here. I like this bread. It toasts up really nice. This is a little bit less of a toast than I usually put on it. And our melted hot ham and cheese here, that came out within 10 seconds of this. So we're in good shape here. So what I'll do is I'll throw some mustard right on there. And I'll just spread that in and let that soak in the bread. Just a second, we'll throw our mayo on. And mayo here. Like I said, I don't want to use a whole lot here. I really just want this for an accent. And there we go. Should be pretty good right there. And then from there, we're just going to lever up our hot ham and cheese. Throw that on there. And we are in business. There she blows. So good. Now I like to keep this a little simple. This one, as you can see, is pretty juicy. You can add things like pickles and tomatoes or whatever you want to it. I really just wanted to recreate for you was a sandwich that I used a lot during the testing. And it's just this combination. This La Brea, I think it might be a sourdough French bread possibly. Toasted with the hot ham and cheese. Just the little delicate touch of mayo. And that sauce is just tremendous. I would consider putting this, honestly, in probably the top 10 sandwiches I've ever had. Everything fits together well. Goes hand in glove, and just if I ever decide to make a restaurant, this sandwich will be on there. Just so it's so good. Its flavor is spectacular. All these together is just you don't get to use hot sauce on sandwiches a lot. At least I don't. And it's kind of a treat when I do. I mean, I could, but most of the time I don't want to. If that makes sense. With this one, I absolutely want to. Oh, so good. Cold sandwiches, it works well. It's one of the things that sets it apart, I think. Of course, if I ever do a restaurant, I guess I have to be a little bit nervous that this might be overly spicy for some people. A 3 is really about the edge when you start to lose people who claim they like spicy stuff. You get on the heat, on the 3 on the heat scale, and they're edging towards the door. And this one is definitely, I would put it as a 3, very solid 3. Flavor wise, it's just spectacular. This is, I think I said it was the best mustard I had in the written review, which makes it, this has been a really interesting year in terms of me having the best version of a certain type of sauce I've ever had. This is now the third one for 2020. So I guess there's kind of a silver lining for the year, but just really tremendous. If you like mustard, you like Scotch bonnets, you like that Caribbean mustardy style sauce, this is for you. This is spectacular. And nice 7-ounce flask. It's the value for the money is just there in spades. It is. This is one of the best buys I think actually out there. So strongly encourage you to get some of that. Get you a bottle if that's the kind of stuff that you're interested in. But yeah, there it is. The look at my sandwich. Hopefully you guys might be motivated to make one yourself. It's pretty tasty. And the look, of course, at the star of this Inner Beauty hot sauce.
Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.